Kandid Gary Chivichyan was born July 17, 1996. Raised in Hollywood, California with his parents Kokot and Narine and older brother Arthur. Growing up, he was always surrounded by his large extended family, whom he has still maintained a close bond with until today. Birthdays, barbecues, and special events have brought on many happy childhood memories. Kandid attended Merdinyan Private Armenian School for 8 years before starting the 9th grade at Bishop Almany, where he joined the basketball program. He trained in judo and boxing extensively for 17 years before devoting himself to his undeniable talent and passion for basketball. Despite wanting to stay close to home, he accepted a scholarship to attend Idaho State University, where he studied for his bachelor's degree. In recent years, he transferred to University of Pacific in Stockton, California, and is on the path of completing his master's. One thing you can control: you are responsible for how people remember you, or don't, so don't take it lightly.
Everything is upside down. Oh baby, I love you, yeah. When you gon' leave when I need you the most? Wherever you go, I'll be there, you know. Don't be a stranger, don't be a ghost. 'Cause baby, I love you, yeah. I guess I'm gonna dance alone tonight. I'm gonna miss your body. You know I can never get it right without you, no. I don't wanna step into the light if I don't get you, shawty. You bring out the sweetness of my life, oh yeah. Come on and give me that, give me that, give me that good, good love. Come on and show me that, show me that, show me that you're the one.
Hello and welcome back to Candid Coffee. Thank you for joining us again. I'm here with Kandid Gary Chivichyan. He is a rising star in the Armenian community. He's back home from Idaho. He just finished his senior year. Thank you so much for joining us, Kandid Jan.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so happy. This is long overdue.
Man, I've been trying to get this going for a while. I'm happy we're here.
Yes, absolutely. For those of you who watched the last episode, back last year, I did an interview for Hayastan MMA where Kandid's older brother Arthur was sitting with me, and we talked a lot about mentoring and the successful career of the dojo and his dad. And I'm so happy. I even told him back then we have to have Kandid come on the show. Of course, you've been so busy with your studying. You're finally done. You're back home. How does it feel? How are you feeling right now with everything?
Oh man, I was away from Idaho. I was in Idaho for about 4 years, and then I went to Stockton, California, and finished up my master's. So it's been about 5 years since I've been home.
Wow.
So I'm back home. I'm eating home cooked foods. I'm spending time with family.
Especially now.
Man, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
So we're home all day. We're really enjoying some family time. It's really nice. I haven't had it for a while, so I'm lucky to be here right now.
Awesome. How was it like for you being out there, number one, by yourself without your family, and also just being an Armenian in a community that really doesn't know about us very much?
Yeah, at first, it was some adjusting I had to do, but I'm an adjustable guy. I adjust pretty quick to things and situations. When I got to Idaho, obviously, I've been born and raised in LA. I was about 18 when I got there. So it was a really big difference in the environment and the type of people that I was dealing with. But it was really good for my experience, because I continued.
Maybe some tough skin, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I was out there alone. I had to take care of myself. Really adjusted to people around me, and I was able to do it. And it's not an easy thing, but I was happy with the way I grew out there. When
you were asked, where are you from originally, your nationality, how was that conversation?
Yeah, I told them, they're like, hey, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from LA. They're trying to dig in, but what are you? I'm like, I'm Armenian. They're like, oh, what's Armenian? So I had to go around and teach a whole bunch of people what Armenian is, where Armenia is on the map, and you know, where my parents are from, and it was really special for me, because you know, I was surprised at how many people didn't even know what Armenian is.
Of course.
Especially in a state like Idaho, that's, you know, kind of away from the norm. But yeah, it was just really cool, giving people insight on our tradition and our cultures, our food.
Yeah, I bet they enjoyed that. Yeah.
You know, so I was really excited to play that role. You know, go out there, you know, by myself and really just represent Armenia the right way.
Obviously, I had a little bit of a background about your background. I knew, you know, your parents and the dojo and your brother, but obviously you went in a completely different route. Both your brother and your dad did mention how incredibly supportive they were of you, taking this big leap of faith, going into basketball, trusting you, believing in you. What was that like, just growing up with your brother and your dad, and just making that decision on your own? When did that happen?
Yeah, you know, everyone knows who my dad is. You know, he's always been in the fighting game, and my brother kind of took that direction. You know, my brother, he went and he was a national champion in judo 6 times. You know, he really excelled in that field. And when it was time for me to come up, you know, I was also training and you know, doing the judo, doing the boxing until I was about 17. You know, we found a special talent, and that was in basketball. And you know, me and my brother, we talked about it, and actually my brother was really good in basketball too. He just never had the opportunity. He never had somebody to help him, really guide him. So what he did was he took that upon himself and really made
you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he really made sure that, you know, I'm on track. You know, he created opportunities for me to be able to go out there and prove myself. You know, he's really been my manager throughout this whole process, and you know, I couldn't ask for a better older brother in the world. So, you know, shout out to Arthur. But yeah, you know, they've both been really supportive of me. They believe in my dream. And you know, now that I've come this far, you know, they really appreciate, you know, how hard I've worked and the time that I've put in. So, you know, they're continuing to back me till the end of this thing.
I know that, like, for example, the Navasartyan Games, the festival, they do it every year. Thousands and thousands of Armenians get together, and mainly it's basketball, but there are other sports there. I love seeing young men playing basketball of Armenian descent. I also especially love seeing women, and I know a few that loved it, did it for quite a few years, and then perhaps their parents were like, "Oh, love, you know, what are you going to do with basketball?" They didn't really see a future in their daughters. But perhaps you doing what you're doing not only will help, of course, young men, but will help young women as well, because they'll see that you did it. You overcame so much. And your brother is a huge mentor for young students, and anti-bullying, which we talked about. How do you feel about kind of having that pressure on your shoulders of being a young Armenian man going into basketball and being like that symbol for us, that mascot for us? Yeah,
no, absolutely. You know, coming into the Division I basketball, I knew that I could potentially do something special. And, you know, completing basketball, my college career now, you know, I'm really got my eyes on something really large, something that's never been done before by any other Armenian. So, you know, I got kind of like the globe kind of looking at me.
Right.
They want to see what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna do it.
It's pressure.
Yeah, and that's what people always tell me, like, man, like, you're one of you're the figure, you know, how much, is there a lot of pressure on you? And, you know, I tell them, to be honest with you, you know, for me to have come this far, you know, I could retire today and be a legend in the Armenian community, but in my mind, I'm just scratching the surface. I'm just starting to develop. I'm really growing into a real-time basketball player, and I really believe that I could do something special. You know, so the pressure is minimal. The only pressure I have is to wake up every day and do the right things. You know, really take care of my body. sleep right and eat right and work out as hard as I possibly can every day.
Yeah.
And that's what the pressure is on. It's not about the outside noise or who's looking at me. It's just about doing the right things day in and day out to give me the best chance. Because
of course,
one thing people need to understand in the game of basketball is, you got to do, as an Armenian in the game of basketball, you got to go the extra mile. When you walk into a gym, you're not respected because they look at you and they don't think you could play. So, you got to do
different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You look different. You don't fit into that, to the norm of basketball. So, I took that upon myself, and, I make sure I work harder than every single guy. I make sure I eat right and sleep right and do the little things, because if I don't do those little things, then I won't even have a chance,
Right.
I'm genetically gifted, but I'm not genetically gifted to the point where, I can
You don't have to try anymore.
Yeah, I don't got to try and just show up and,
Yeah.
just think everything's going to be okay. So, for all the people that are inspired by the story and that are watching, I commend them to, really, really look at the process and just how it goes in terms of, just giving it your all every day.
Yes,
and
the discipline.
Exactly, the discipline, the focus.
Yeah, the focus, yeah.
And just giving
the long hours of training.
Man, you got.
I'm saying it like I do it all the time. I'm just assuming it's like
you're right though.
Up in 5 in the morning, running, gym,
Absolutely.
weights, drills.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes.
Yeah.
You kind of knocked it on the nail right there, because going forward here, it's only going to get tougher.
Yeah.
It's not going to get any easier. So. I'm excited to bump the level of intensity to have a chance.
So I watched your career in the last maybe 3 years consistently. I was like, okay, this kid, he's gonna do something big. He's gonna do something big. And your star was rising. Come on. So slowly, little by little, I saw it. And then recently I saw that blue little check mark. Not that it's 100% validation of your hard work, but it means a lot.
Yeah.
You've been published in USA Today, Yahoo, ESPN has mentioned you. Local news stations like NBC and ABC have mentioned you. They're talking about you. There's a fire going on around you. And I love that because it looks like it was overnight kind of now.
Yeah.
But it was so much hard work, and it was months, building that up.
You're bringing chills to my body because, it did. That's what it kind of seems like. It's like boom. I just woke up one day and things are just rolling. And it took maybe 4 or 5 years of consistency and just so many ups and so many downs. And when you're down, it's like you don't see the end of the tunnel. You're kind of,
or how much progress you've made.
Made. You don't see what's to come. And luckily I had a sporting group that always brought me back up and put me back on track. And I just kept pushing. And now obviously I'm in a different scenario than I was even just 3 months ago. It's been pretty overwhelming in terms of media, but I'm trying to put that stuff behind me because it's good to have some buzz and some fire, like you said. But in the end of the day, I got to go on the court and prove that I'm a better basketball player than the next guys to be granted this blessing of an opportunity. So I'm really trying to stay dialed in and
humble.
Humble and dialed in and put the noise behind me and really work like I did when I was nothing and nobody had believed in me yet.
I love that. I love how you said that.
Yeah.
Who is your agent now?
I just signed. I was actually really blessed to sign with experienced NBA certified agent Ada Vartanyan.
Kudos for picking an Armenian.
Yeah, of course.
That.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay in. The team I'm building around me is pretty much all Armenian for the most part, and I'm trying to really create that strong Armenian group and make noise in a field that Armenians haven't made noise in before. So I'm lucky to sign with him. He's a really good man, really experienced. you know, is really well known around the NBA. Signed some really big stars in the NBA in his career. So he's going to do his part, and I got to do my part.
Of course.
And you know, we're teaming up as an Armenian duo to take on the NBA. So I'm really excited for the process.
Gananjan, you're a shooter and a guard.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, and mind you, everyone's gonna be like, she probably doesn't even know anything about basketball. I kind of do and I don't. I watched the Lakers with my brother. I have a younger brother. He was a diehard fan, still is. And I was like, okay, let me see, you know, what position you play and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I saw Gary Chivichyan, Armenian Sniper, I was like, whew, yes. How did that come about? Who picked that name?
So actually, my last year here at Pacific, I walked in there and I was the 13th man on the roster, meaning I was the last guy when I walked in there. And I walked into the gym, and you know, University of Pacific was a higher level than Idaho State. They're both Division I, but the WCC conference was ranked top 5 all year. Some of the strongest teams in there. So I walked into the University of Pacific. I'm the last guy on the roster, and I'm like, man, I got so much work to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I just went 6 months, no social events, extreme diet, hard work, and throughout the 6-month process, I worked my way up on this team and became, you know, the second leading scorer. And people started saying, hey, he's the Armenian Sniper. You know, I started creating some noise, and they started saying, hey, that's the Armenian Sniper. So I just kind of took it upon me and accepted it. Thought it was pretty cool.
It is really cool. It is really cool.
So I took it upon me, and I was like, hey, I guess I'm the Armenian Sniper now.
Yeah.
So.
Pew, pew, pew. When I saw that, I was like, oh, he's a shooter, it's a sniper. It's so cute. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
and,
I guess it's a fitting name.
It is. It is. And you know, it's like, especially with basketball, seeing who we've seen, they become like a superhero almost.
Yeah.
They become this like, they need this like badge of honor kind of thing, like a special nickname, you know, like, you know, Black Mamba, you know, Armenian Sniper, you know, I like that. I like that they gave you that name.
It kind of adds like that
extra oomph.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that a lot. When it comes to Armenians in LA, we're a lot, okay. We have quite a few people who have brought new attention. For example, Alexis Ohanian. He's been kind of, you know, new on the radar in the last couple of years, aside from Kim or, you know, Cher or Serge or anybody like that. I really want our people and Armenians and just in general, the world to know about how talented we can be in athletics.
Absolutely.
We are extremely bright and talented when it comes to chess. It's kind of a sport, but it's more of like a mental, tactical game thing. You know, you play with somebody. But there was a young woman named Huri Gebeshian. She was in the 2016 Olympics as a gymnast. There's Alexanyan, 3-time world champion, Olympic wrestler. There's a ton of great fighters, not just Armenian, but other nationalities as well that came out of your dad's dojo. Fantastic. I love that there's still a name associated with Haya, like there's that influence there. Your brother also being one of them, like you mentioned before. He's won several championships. And then as far as like another type of sport, you know, Henrik Mkhitaryan comes to mind. He's so loved and respected, and he's a handsome young guy, and everyone's rooting for him from all ages, and you know, women, men, everybody. And to have you come about, and you're young, and you have so much talent already, and you still have so much potential to grow that talent. It just, literally, I'm just, getting so happy about it, because another name is added to that list of the people I just mentioned.
Yeah.
For example, for the sake of this conversation, let's just say you were like a C+ athlete.
Okay.
Whatever, asinkte. And you had a couple of bad months or a year. You've been off your game or something like that, and some Armenian guy sitting on his couch in his chustikner, takes the toothpick out of his mouth and says something like, I'm responsible to have his back.
Yeah.
He's responsible for kind of being a shining star for us, and I should give that respect back. Maybe he's off his game a little bit. I want to still be there for him, because he's the only Armenian possibly going to the NBA.
Yeah.
And that is huge.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying you should be slacking off or anything, because you're the only guy.
No, I love this. I love where you're going with this.
I just think it's amazing, because we're just like, Medna, Haya, Imna. I want to be there for that guy. I want to root him on,
And you're knocking it on the point, because it's crazy, because people always are asking me now, like, hey, are you gonna be in the NBA draft? Are you gonna be in the NBA draft? I'm like, listen, man, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't like to blow smoke.
Right, especially when nothing is certain yet.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't want to blow smoke. What's happening is the people that get drafted are the 60th best players, basketball players on the planet. I'm not one of those 60 guys. Am I going to get drafted this coming year? Probably not. But I'm luckily enough that I put myself in a position where I'm going to have a great opportunity to make this thing happen. How? Well, I've drawn interest from several NBA teams, and I'm going to be worked out in front of GMs and assistant coaches, and they're going to make their judgment on me. And as a basketball player, and especially as an Armenian, all I could ask for is opportunity, because I've bet on myself every single time, and every single time I've won. So I'm gonna keep betting on myself, and I'm gonna keep going until the wheels fall off.
Right.
And I wanna definitely, kind of going off from what you said is, I need Armenia's support. I need the Armenian support. Because it means the world to me. Harutokos, love him as gumis.
Yeah, of course.
Zangumen, asumen, operas, dues, loveness, and I want to put on for these people.
Yes.
Because they're watching me.
And it's back and forth.
Exactly, it's back and forth.
Yeah.
I want to put on for these people, and I want to bring Armenia on the map, because I was surprised at how many people didn't even know what Armenia was or Armenian is.
Yes.
So it would be awesome to be able to kind of bring Armenia into the center stone of this thing.
And
especially in this industry. So I'm excited, and for all the people who are supporting me, and the support has dramatically increased. I want to let them know that I'm gonna keep pushing at this thing. If it takes me a year or 2 or 3 or 5 months, it doesn't matter, because I'm relentlessly pushing forward. And my side is on the NBA, and I truly believe that I could play in the NBA one day. So that's just that was a great topic of conversation that you brought up.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I believe in you. I'm not just saying that. Everyone who I sit with, I truly admire them, or I believe in them, or I believe in what they're doing and what they're representing, even if it's a side job or if it's their whole career, like all your eggs are in one basket for this. And
absolutely.
I think you could do it. Honestly, I know it's you have to have that cheerleading team behind you, which you do.
Absolutely.
Big time. And there are over 200,000 Armenians in LA, and some of them know about you, some of them don't. Some of them will know very soon more, And this is a small podium that I have, but it's something. Every little bit counts.
Yeah, and I told my brother, I was like, man, you know, we started something really special, you know, and at the end of this thing, which is going to be 10 years, because I always tell everybody I'm giving my all for 10 years, and then bring out the Chodovats, and because after that I'm try to enjoy my life and come back and help the Armenian community. But for the next 10 years, you know, I'm really going to give a strong push. And you know, some people dream about it, but you know, this has come to a point where it's not a dream anymore. It's a realistic opportunity. And at this point, you know, it's just about execution and going in there and taking advantage of every single, you know, grain of opportunity that comes my way. So
definitely, yeah. Just break a leg. No, not literally, but figuratively. Don't break any legs. No ankles, no knees. Please be healthy.
I need these babies.
Yeah, be healthy and take. I know you take care of yourself so well. 10 years is amazing. Like, I mean, honest, verchatsness, and then retire, you know, 33, 34.
About 34, 35,
Okay.
34, 35.
I think it'll be awesome. Anything you give, I know you're going to give your all. Let the chips fall where they may. And I know that aside from me, there's, you know, lots and lots of people rooting for you. They want to see you succeed.
Absolutely.
Not just for yourself, but again, Vorasen, he's one of us.
Absolutely.
You know, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's just say 10 years go by, 11, 12 years go by, whatever it may be, you know, the next decade. You want to give back to the Armenian community. What else? Do you have like a little bucket list? What else would you like to do?
So I see a lot of Armenian kids who have so much potential now and so much ability. And I really believe some of them have a chance. And there's been many Armenians in the past who've come and faded with the same kind of issue. I feel like they don't have the right opportunity. They don't have the right people to call, and they don't surround themselves with the right team, and
maybe some naysayers.
Yeah, you know, just they don't have the right equipment, you know, to be able to do something special, to have that opportunity. So you know, when this career is said and done, you know, I'm gonna come back into this community. I'm gonna find special talent in this community, and you know, I got over 35 Division I head coaches on my phone, you know, that I could call on any given basis. I got 20 to 25 professional agents that I could call.
If you find someone with that potential.
Absolutely. I got, you know, I got people at the high school level who bring college coaches in the gym every single day to watch these kids perform and play. You know, I got trainers. I got strength coaches. I got a team that's assisted me that a lot of these Armenian kids don't have and don't know where to get it from. So you know, regardless of what happens in this 10-year career, at the end of the day, you know, I have unbelievable opportunity that I'm so blessed for. You know, and I thank God every single day. And I'm so grateful for everything that's come my way. You know, so I'm gonna get back into the community and really pull some of these kids out and give them that hope and that direction to do something special.
Especially from somebody they don't even know. You just like come up to them and say something like, "Hey, I really think you have something there, but you need to nourish that talent."
Absolutely.
And they're like, "Oh my God, like
let's
no
get it."
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, no one said that to me, or I didn't think I could, and you know, I didn't have enough people believing in me. Yeah, absolutely. There's a famous saying. When you get to the top, you got to send the elevator back down for everybody else.
Absolutely.
And I see that in you.
Yeah, and that's the goal. You know, in the end of the day, you know, I'm trying to do something special, but there's a much bigger picture than that. One thing I've based myself on in my whole career is, you know, I wanna be able to glorify my culture and my family, but you know, most importantly, I also want to glorify, you know, my faith as a Christian and God Himself, who's, you know, put me in these shoes, you know, to be this role model, to be this, you know, this basketball player that people look up to. So, you know, the story is much bigger than the chase in the NBA. There's so much more behind it that I feel like I got to give back to the community, which I will, no doubt.
Absolutely. And so many before you have done that. And I love that because it's like, if you don't, like,
then
what good are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not gonna base myself as a human being on my basketball career.
Skills, just
exactly,
that,
and my skills. You know, at the end of the day, if I'm able to help a kid strengthen his faith, strengthen, you know, the hope in his life, create opportunity for the people under me, then I'll consider myself a successful man and successful, you know, adult and human. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, you know, that's kind of the plan going into this thing. That's
Very
the major
good.
plan.
All press, got it done. That's awesome. It's so nice to hear from a younger generation. You're a very mature young man, and you know what you want. You know what you're doing. Even if you didn't have as much support as you do, I feel like it's in you to be that kind and to give it back. I feel that from you. So, like, you know, Armenians. We're amazing in a lot of stuff, but we're also very overbearing, and, you know, any chance we get, we do a big kef, and we have the whole spread and drinks and, you know, family and noise and everybody together, aunts, uncles, grandma, everybody, and it's great. Maybe when you're trying to take a final, it's not so great. And it's kind of distracting, or you're trying to focus on something, or you got to get up early in the morning, or something like that. I'm just trying to picture what you're doing on your downtime when you are so focused and you are training so hard. You know, how are your friends? How are your family and what they do, and them including you, like, Audie, you know, come spend time with us and all that stuff.
Yeah, this is an amazing question because so when I was in high school, I was dying for a Division I scholarship. You know, me and my family were like, man, I hope somewhere near, you know, I hope UCLA or Santa Barbara or Riverside or you know, CSUN, something close. You know, I don't want to leave this. I don't want to leave my family. I don't want to leave my friends. You know, and as I went away and look back at it, I'm like, man, you know, sometimes to do something special, you kind of gotta get away from the scene.
Cut the umbilical cord for a little while.
You know, you gotta get away from the scene a little bit and kind of, you know, focus on the grind. But when I am here, you know, obviously there's sacrifice that has to be made. You know, you got to pick the right time to you know, have fun and go out. You know, there's a time for everything. So as an athlete, I always just kind of, and I got better at it as I got older, better at it as I got older. You know, you just got to find the right time and place for everything. You know, you could still enjoy your time with your family and you know, eat all the good buddies. Food and all that stuff. You just got to know when and then the right time. So I kind of advanced in that you know, aspect as I grew older, because you know how it is. There's Armenian parties, you know, they get crazy.
Yeah, they do. No, that's good. Yeah, you're right. When you went away, you were kind of alone, and you had no choice but to you know, focus on all that. Of course, God made you missed all that stuff.
And it was a blessing in disguise.
Right.
You know?
Kind of gave you that
gap. You know, some space. And people always, you know, really successful people that, you know, I've read about, you know, they always talk about, you know, finding your space. You know, sometimes when there's so much noise, you can't really find yourself, and you can't really stay on task. So, you know, doesn't mean be a loner. You know, socializing is very important, but you know, sometimes just giving yourself that little bit of space, you know, you could really do something special when you find that time. Right, of course. That's that quiet time.
Earlier this year, as the entire world and perhaps even the universe knows, we lost Kobe Bryant. I saw, obviously it was absolutely tragic, and it was huge loss and a huge shock and absolutely devastating. I saw grown men just with tears in their eyes and just couldn't even process that thought that this person who is almost seemed not human because he was such a huge icon.
Idol,
he was just incredible, unbreakable, pass away. Who was that person for you? I mean, obviously you live in LA, you might have been a Lakers fan or a Clippers fan, but who was that person for you that you watched and you were just
Man.
in awe, and you're like, wow, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to be him.
Yeah, man, it was tragic. You know, it was tragic for just LA. Everyone grew up watching him, his intensity, his work ethic, and you know, I always told my brother, I was like, just telling him actually a week or two ago, I'm like, man, who knew that shooting a ball into a basket could inspire so many people? And he was telling me, you know, it's not about the ball going in the basket. It's about what's behind it. You know, the discipline and all the things that go. So you know, Kobe had all of that, and he had it at a level that is unattainable for you know 99% of this world. Right. You know, so and he accomplished so much, and it was really sad to see him go the way he did. But you know, it just shows you how short life is and how unexpected life could be. So, you know, tragic event, but we gotta move on and always keep him in our hearts, because man, he was a legend in LA. And like you said, an icon for all of us. So he's always been my favorite player, Kobe. Man, he's always been my favorite player. I watched him, I was inspired by him. I loved everything about him, his intensity, his work ethic, his you know, his swag, his demeanor. He was such a good man. He was such a great fighter. And you know, even though he had some, you know, negativity in the middle of his career and, you know, bad reports and stuff, and at the end of the day, you know, the guy finished his career as one of the greatest of all time, and was such a good family guy. Really was with his daughters all day, and you know, took care of his wife, and you could really see that he couldn't wait to get to that portion of his life. So you know, it was inspiring to see what a dad and father and husband he had become after this, you know, this great story he created. Right. You know, so he inspired people, and he'll continue to inspire people even though he's in the grave, you know. Yeah. That's how special he was. So yeah.
And you're living proof of that.
Yeah.
A young Armenian from an immigrant family. You were born here, but I mean,
yeah, it was a tough rise. You know, once you get your foot in the door, though, things start opening up. You know, the lights start turning on, and you know, it's up to you to, you know, really take that step forward and you know, continue to push. And you know, that's what Kobe kind of teaches us, is like, man, don't give up. You know, even in my case right now, you know, the lights are on, the buzz is behind me, the people are behind me, but not everything's going to be all nice and dandy every single day. You know, I got to be able to recover. I got to be able to refocus. I got to be able to redial and keep shooting forward. You know, like kind of like how I've been doing throughout my career. So, you know, you got to be ready for the ups and the downs, and you know, Kobe teaches that. You know, is just keep going no matter what. Don't stop. And you know, that's kind of the mentality that's instilled in me. I told my agent, you know, good month, bad month, up, down, left, right. Doesn't matter how this thing goes, you know. I'm gonna keep going forward until God stops me. So, you know, so thank you to Kobe, inspiring millions of people in LA and really around the world.
Absolutely, well said. I don't think people can know right off the bat or wrap their head around the intense amount of practice and just training day in and day out that you have to do, because every person on the team is different. and your genetics plays a part. How tall you are, how fast you are, your health, your family history. Everything can be a component in how well you succeed.
Yeah.
And of course, you can go crazy and just train so hard. How is that for you? What are you doing?
Yeah. So, man, it's a good question because as an Armenian in the basketball field, you gotta do sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times, sometimes 4 times more than the next person to have a chance. To even just to have a chance. Even at the Division I level. So, and I learned that at a young age. Is I'm not just gonna walk onto the court and be more athletic or more skilled than the next guy. As an Armenian, especially in the field of basketball, the little things is very important. Obviously I talked about diet and sleeping the right amount of time a day, and just the amount of hours that you have to put in to be on par.
5 hours, 6 hours a day?
Like a regular day for me is I'd probably spend about an hour lifting weights, maybe 30-40 minutes of some hard conditioning, and I'm on the court about twice a day, about an hour 15 each time. Really focused on what I need to work on, and you got to be consistent, and and then the work's not just done with just how hard you go. It's a 24/7 process. You gotta ice your body. You got to continue to stretch. You got to maintain a gallon of water a day. It's all these things that I learned as an Armenian that I have to do to be able to compete at a high level. Because when I got too confident and I stopped, taking care of things day by day, I realized that I'm worthless here. I can't make it doing not being 100% day in and day out. So the sooner you realize that, and the sooner I realized that, the better it was for my career. So now the pressure's on to try to be perfect every day. And it's intense, but that's that as an Armenian in this sport, that's what it takes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that. So and you've already accepted that. You're already knowing this is what I have to do. There's no going back about it.
There's no way.
It's not like it's a surprise to you, or it's kind of like hard work, but the next match and work on it and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, you definitely are very focused. You know what you're doing. I want to see, no pressure, but I want to see more headlines of you. I want to see that buzz about you continue. It might slow down a little bit and then it'll pick back up again. Slow down a little bit, pick back up again, because it's just so awesome, and people are constantly reposting your stuff on Instagram. I follow it. I see people do that, and they're just hyping you. And I wish you the most fantastic, successful career ever.
Thank you so much.
For you to be so feel good about it, yes, I did it.
Thank you so much.
I love that.
And I love how you said, the up and down. I always said it I consider basketball, my basketball career, like a stock, literally like a stock market. It's a stock. And how does a stock market? It goes up, and it goes down, and it goes up. But in the long term, it's always up. So that's how I look at this thing.
It is always up. That's right. That's
so I thank you for having me here today, and
of course,
it's been a pleasure, and man, I look forward to doing this again.
Yes, absolutely. We should come back and see how much progress you've made, where you're at. Yeah, absolutely.
Let the people know that this thing is real and this thing is going. And it's not going to stop until the wheels fall off.
Yes, absolutely. I love that, and I want so many people to see this, and non-Armenians to see it and be like, wow, you're coming from this family. Yes, your dad had a lot of success before you guys even got to where you're at now, and your mom has been by his side, and then your brother, and then all this, but it should be very much, as cliche as this sounds, it should be a huge token that The American dream is very much possible for anybody coming in here, but you got to put in
the work.
The work.
Absolutely.
You got to put in the work.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And your family is a testament of that.
I'm glad you mentioned my mom. My mom told me the other day at the house, she's like, man, every interview you do, everywhere, everything you do, you never mention my name. She's like, you never mention my name. I was like, Mom, don't worry. I'm gonna mention your name and the biggest moment of it all. When I signed that contract, and you know, I'm on that stage, or you know, the biggest moment of it all, I'm gonna say, man, you know, my mom is an angel, and she supported me in a million different ways, and you know, she deserves this more than I do. So, you know, shout out, Mom. Yeah,
absolutely, not in it. She's gonna hear this and she's gonna love it. This is like a little bit of your acceptance speech of life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just one camera.
Yeah,
you're gonna have lots of cameras on you. You're gonna be doing the press conferences later, or just interviews here and there. And when you have that moment, yes, you can thank your mom, and you can thank your mom here. And I love it because, you know, when you kind of, since I've seen her a few times and I know the type of lady she is, it's like, oh, you know.
Yeah, no.
She wants to hear it.
Yeah, no, literally,
so
she's like, she has sleepless nights worrying about me more than anybody on this world. So, you know, her everyone knows about my dad and his support, but you know, my mom and my brother have always been there behind me mentally, and
well, the moms usually take the beef of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've always been mentoring me and really keeping me on the right mental track. So, you know, without them, you know, none of this would be possible. So,
absolutely.
Shout out family.
Awesome. Absolutely.
Love family.
Number one. I want to thank Brandview Ballroom, Anush Catering. They have quite a few locations. This is one of them that I love because I love anything outdoors. And we got to sit in this beautiful patio and have our interview. Thank you for letting us be here, especially during this time of when everything is shut down for quarantine and everything like that. Until next time, thank you for joining us on Kandid Koffee.